I want to bring some clarity to what we've been discussing in the last few days. And we can't kind of dislodge from this. And in fact, in the way that I was presenting it, it's clear that this is something very, very remote. Be'emes, gam b'zeh in the Chassidus. Be'emes, from the truth perspective, what is the truth perspective? What does it mean, the truth perspective? Since it means inevitably befinas dveikus bimkoro. So I was thinking one way, a clear way that we can actually identify this principle, and that is, you know that sight is an allusion to chokhmah. The fact that the world, after light was created, when light was created, what happened? Now the world became visible. Now the world per se is a physical creation. And a physical creation is identified through touch, not through sight. Sight is not within its realm. On the physical level, sight does not contribute anything. Yet, the first thing that God created in the world was light. Where does this light come from? How does it fit into world? The answer is that this world is actually a representation the way the world is behelim on its origin. And its origin, it is part of a lakus. It is a godly perception, projection, and therefore it is visible. Let's translate the word visibility for a moment. I've said many times, you see something, even though it's a physical item, and physicality is identified by touch, and yet here, you don't need to touch it. And it's real. What does this tell you? What does this allude to? That you're relating at this point to the physical at a different level, at a super level than physicality, on a truth level. Yes, I don't touch it, but in truth it's there. This truth element, this is how this physicality is rooted and is drawn from the keilim. Because on a practical level, touch is how physicality is identified. Not identified, this is where it exists. This Ayin that we can relate to the physical via visibility is a clear illusion that we are looking at the physical not from a physical or worldly perspective, but from where it's coming from, what it represents. It represents a creator. It's a different kind of, a different reality. It's not a physical, not a worldly reality. So despite the fact that it's a completely novel presence, it's a physical presence that is identified by touch, but in the keilim, that touch thing doesn't exist. And yet, it is not total ischachus, because it still carries its truth. In other words, what does it represent, even after it becomes world. Mm-hmm. Got it? Okay. That means that at that point, Al Koponim B'chinas, this is the end of the fourth line from the bottom. Al Koponim B'chinas Dveikus Min keilim. Al Koponim means despite its worldly makeup, which is a total novel creature, nonetheless, it's inevitable, it's inescapable, that it is still alluding to the mocker. Even though a physical item is calling attention onto itself. But it's inevitable that it carries along with it its truth as it is in the mocker. And what kind of truth is it in the mocker? The physical truth in the mocker is that whether you touch it or you don't touch it, it's there. It is there because the mocker identifies it. Says it should be there. Not because if itself you have to touch it. Here you don't have to touch it. Okay. Now let's go 3 lines from the bottom, the end on that line, right after the parentheses. V'chol gilui mehahelem, any gilui that comes from helem. What does that mean? Gilui mehahelem. It means that the gilui comes from something that preceded the gilui. It was earlier in the state of helem. And now it came to gilui. It was drawn from the helem into gilui. Because we're saying that this is not his chachus mamush. It was there before, but then you only saw the Ayin Seif, and then when you remove the Ayin Seif, siluk, so now you have that which was there in the helem. Therefore, the gilui is that which comes from the helem. Gilui mehahelem harei hagilui. Then the gilui is me'ein hahelem. Then the gilui is me'ein hahelem, has a kinship of a similar representation as the helem itself. What does this mean, me'ein hahelem? What is the ein hahelem that comes in the gilui? Ein hahelem means of the quality, of the essence, and of the stance, or what the helem stands for. Ein hahelem. So if we take the mashal that we used just now, the visibility aspect in the physical world, visibility is totally independent of the form of the object that you're looking at. Visibility is simply telling you there is a reality, there is something there. Not something there. There is reality itself. That's what's visibility. Whether it's pertinent, whether it's important, whether it has insignificance, it's not part of that. It's not part of this visibility element. In other words, it's talking about a presence that is on a reality level, not on a functional level. And this is what the Rebbe concludes now the next few words. Ukishem she'ahelem hu bebchinas pshitus. Just as the helem is in the pshitus bechina, in a pshitus state, the helem clearly is not dependent on form. And the reason things are behelem is because the helem itself alludes to them. There is no things in the helem. Like we said, I don't want to go into Misholim. We have enough Misholim on that. K'moi kein, likewise, hagilui, that which emanates from this, showing the helem, gam kein, bebchinas pshitus. They're also bebchinas. The gilui is also bebchinas pshitus. In our Misholim, here I'll bring the Moshel again. In our Misholim, even though once a table is put in the dining room, it's mamash hamitzias. But because it fits so perfectly, and in the dining room idea, and as a matter of fact, it was born as a result of the concept of the dining room, the presence of the table in the dining room is not an add-on. It is part of the dining room. There's not two things, the room and the table. You don't even think of the table in terms of its functionality. You think in terms of what it identifies the room as. And that is due to the fact that prior to the table coming to the dining room had a table, b'pshitus, behelem. And the table, in fact, is only revealing that which is behelem. From the helem. And therefore, this is not called Yischadshus, clearly. And as we point out in our own experience, when you bring a table into the dining room, it is not a novel description of this room. It's a complementing, it is revealing what it is. This is not finished yet, but all this is pointing to the Inyan, that despite the fact that there is silug ha'oir, there remains the element of the pshitus of the helem. Pshitus and keilim do not join together. Put tzaddik in a keli, it cannot be pshitus. in our world and the best possible is you cannot put into a keilim sight. You have to then retranslate it how that would be relative to other things. But the reality of sight, the reality of chokhmah does not really allow yourself to be put into a keilim. Even though it's what's called the Kli HaChokhmah, that we also speaks separately. Bina is where keilim begin, because then there is a contrast and so forth. And this is all leading to clarifying why there is a necessity of the second tzimtzum. Now, the first tzimtzum will not allow the oil to go into a cave. Because whatever surfaces after the first tzimtzum, it is b'pshitus. Because it's a gila me'ahela. And the pshitus does not go into cave. You will see now. Hine be'emes, the last line at the bottom line. Be'emes, behold the truth in truth. Ho'ese spheres de oiros, the 10 spheres, as they are in the oir level, spheres are true in oir, and spheres are true in keilim. Very, very different levels. The way spheres are in oir is hein b'bchina pshitus. They are in a pshitus state. Legabe as a sphere is a keilim. In comparison or relative to the spheres of keilim, commission is boiling yield, periq dalet. So the way the spheres are, as spheres of oilers are b'bchinas pshitus l'gabe spheres of keilim. And therefore they are not fit into keilim. Ukmation is what, nevertheless, still, meyachar, since that, שגם בשור שונו מקוירון יש בחינס אסס פירס. This is an important, very pshitisdike statement. Being that even in their source, there is bechinus esses spheres, there is the bechin of 10 spheres. What is the meaning of 10 spheres? 10 spheres, as we spoke many times, 10 spheres means that there is some kind of a possibility of a plan with the spheres, rather than the being spheres representing Ayin Seif. But this union that there is Esses Spheres, the beginning of Esses Spheres, is true not only after the Tzimtzum, but even the way, not only when it's Begilui, but even the way it is in the Hell. B'shosher Mekeilim. There is the beginning of Esses Spheres. And the Esses Spheres, as we discussed before, the Esses Spheres are there due to the Aliyahs or Ratzon. Because there was the Ratzon to create. In order to create, you have to have 10 spheres. What is the meaning of 10 spheres? They have to have an orderly fashion, orderly manner, how you bring the oil out. Starting from Chokhmah, and then into Bina, and then all the way into Malchus. And that and that is true. There's as sphirot per se, that there is an organizable presence in the Helem. It's true even in the Helem. Why? Because there is the aliyah Ratzon. Ratzon, just very briefly, Ratzon is completely above creation. Ratzon is an internal union of Elokus. Ratzon is something, it's called the aliyah Ratzon. It arose up. From where? It rose up from the atom itself. There is not a solicitation, there's not a cause for it. Ratzon is something which we have a kind of a marshal for it from our own experience. There is in the human being a certain level of purity that defies explanation. Even in our own experience, so to speak. A person is drawn, you see daylight, you're drawn to daylight. What is it that draws you to daylight? It's just, you're drawn to reality. Because that's what you want. There is no explanation for it. And you identify with it, and you identify it when you see it. Prior to that, he didn't even expect it. He didn't even know to expect it. And yet, when you see it, you relate to it perfectly. Because you relate to truth. That's a Ratzon. You remain relating to it without any explanation. Even though it is something that came upon you, but it came upon you and it touched on your Ratzon, not on your seichel. And therefore, it remains on the Ratzon, and pshitus. Okay.
I have this thing that keeps coming. I mean, I don't know if we're going to get into it or not, but at least I'll check. We say the Ratzon goes up. We don't say it goes down. We don't say it pops into existence. We say it goes up. Why up? Why not down? Why not just happening? Why? What's with the directional thing?
Okay, hold it in abeyance.
Okay.
So therefore, the sphirot is in the oires abeknet pshitus. Now we're going to go on the top of page Samar Gimel finally. Question is by the Pelikim. Bimkoro koim yet still. Me'achar shegam b'shor shel bimkoro. Yes, bechinas sphirot. Being that even in the very source and root of the oiros, there is the bechina of sphirot. And what is the bechina of sphirot? There is a potential for organization. Dim heyoy shehem bebchinas pshitus, where although in that state they're still bebchinas pshitus. Why are they in bebchinas pshitus? There's 10 spheres. Why is it pshitus? The answer is mitzad hadveikus umitzad hahiskalus shalahem beinesom baruch. Due to the dveikus, due to the cleavage, that they're still alluding to the Ein Sof, and hiskalus, and because of their incorporation in the Ein Sof. U'k'meshin is b'yil perikofal. As we explained earlier, that the spheres remain the pshitus, because not in themselves. There are two types of pshitus. Pshitus in itself, and pshitus due to its connection to its source. Here there is a pshitus due to its connection and his kalos be'ein sof. Like we said in our moshul of daylight. Yes, there's a world and there is light. Why does light, daylight, fit into the world? World itself and light are different worlds. Why does it fit? Because there is an allusion to the source. If world, as the world perceives, the world develops itself, then daylight doesn't fit at all in the picture. And then the world is haphazard. You can do anything you want. You can walk on your hand, on your head. Nothing means anything. But being that the world has a connection to its source, to a source. It is an intended creation. And it stays connected to that intent. As a result of that, in that very source, there is a plan, there's a 10 spheres. It is not totally without plan, pshitus. That's what he says. Because of their connection to the source, they're the pshitus. Because, okay, let me explain the how's it a pshitus mitzad adveikus ein sof? This is ein sof. When is it? So when is that spheres? The spheres are initially contained within the Ein Sof. As I said, aliyah Ratzon. The aliyah Ratzon is representative of the Ein Sof. It comes as a result due to the Ein Sof. The Ein Sof has the Ratzon to create. So therefore, the spheres have a source in Ein Sof, and then when they are in Yisgalus, they remain connected to the Ein Sof. and that they retain the Indian from Pshitas because of their connection to Ein Sof. Nonetheless, at the end of the second line, yet still, they're nonetheless in the Bechina of Esesphiris. What does Esesphiris means? As we explained, there is the aspect of Esesphiris. It's not just plain spheres, Esesphiris. This is the way they are emanating from the Ein Sof. The way they are in the Ein Sof itself. And then when they are drawing to the Tzimtzum, in individual spheres, so then each one of the oires of the spheres becomes a Metzias Nikeres, an identifiable Metzias.
I'll go upon him again.
Yeah.
In the opposite way.
Right. And that's, there is some kind of a kinship between them and the keilim. All right. We did our best in terms of explaining that we're going to stop. I see that Shoni Anderson has lost patience and interest in what we're talking about here. Is that correct?